All right, so welcome to your deep dive.
Yeah.
We're diving into Philip K. Dick's uh, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?
Oh, yeah.
A classic, and I'm so ready to kind of unpack this one with you.
That's a good one.
It is. It's a real mind bender.
It is, for sure.
So we're going right to the source material, excerpts from the book itself.
Right.
And we're going to uncover the big ideas about, what it means to be human, artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
the slippery nature of empathy.
All the big stuff.
And it's a world that feels, I don't know, futuristic and eerily familiar at the same time, right?
Yeah, it's post-apocalyptic Earth. Humanity's grappling with the aftermath of nuclear war.
Yeah.
And, technology has advanced to a point where the lines between human and machine are so blurred.
And it's not just the physical fallout either, right?
Yeah.
There's this sense of decay, this idea of kipple
Oh, yeah, the kipple.
that Dick introduces.
It's everywhere.
Imagine, junk, useless stuff constantly piling up, almost like a visual metaphor for societal breakdown.
Yeah. It's not just trash. It's
Right.
it's the embodiment of a world losing its meaning.
Yeah.
In a society obsessed with consumerism, kipple represents, the inevitable byproduct, the emptiness left behind when the shiny newness wears off.
Oh, for sure. And in this world starved for authenticity, right? Owning a real animal becomes like the ultimate status symbol.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a measure of your humanity, your ability to empathize.
Yeah.
People are shelling out huge sums for animals, even when they can barely afford it.
It's true. Think about that for a second.
It's crazy.
In a world that's teetering on the brink, where basic survival is a struggle,
Yeah.
that desire for connection with another living being, even an animal,
Yeah.
becomes paramount.
Yeah.
It really speaks volumes about the human need for empathy, for something real in a world that feels increasingly artificial.
Okay, so you've got this backdrop of, societal decay, this longing for authenticity,
Yeah.
and then you introduce the androids.
Yeah.
These Nexus 6 models are so advanced.
Oh, they're so real.
They're practically indistinguishable from humans.
Yeah, and that's where the real mind bending starts.
Right.
How do you determine who is real and who is artificial when the technology is so sophisticated?
It's impossible.
Dick doesn't give us easy answers.
Nope.
He just throws us right into the moral and philosophical fire.
Yeah, there's the Voight-Kampff test,
Right.
which is supposed to detect androids by measuring their empathic responses.
It's an interesting concept.
But even that's not foolproof.
Oh, absolutely not. The test is a fascinating exploration of how we define and measure empathy.
Right.
Is it truly an innate human quality, or can it be replicated,
Yeah.
programmed into an artificial being?
Right.
And if an android can convince us they feel empathy, does it even matter if it's real?
It's a good question. Then there's Rachel Rosen.
Yes.
She's an android, but she seems to display genuine empathy,
Right.
which throws a wrench into everything.
Oh, yeah. Rachel's existence challenges the very foundation of the Voight-Kampff test.
Right.
And our assumptions about what separates humans from machines.
Exactly.
She forces us to confront the possibility that empathy might not be the clear-cut marker of humanity that we thought it was.
So then we have Rick Deckard,
Yeah.
our bounty hunter protagonist.
Good guy.
He's tasked with retiring, which is a euphemism for killing rogue androids. But as he encounters these androids, he starts grappling with the morality of what he's doing.
Right. Imagine having a job where you're constantly questioning the very nature of life and death,
It's heavy stuff.
where the lines between hunter and hunted become increasingly blurred.
Oh, yeah.
That's Rick's reality.
And his relationship with Rachel Rosen further complicates things, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It blurs the lines between the professional and the personal,
Mm-hmm.
the human and the artificial.
Right.
It makes you wonder, can you truly connect with someone, even develop feelings for them, when you know they're not human?
It's a great question.
It is. The novel forces you to confront your own preconceptions about love and connection.
Yeah.
Can empathy, attraction, even love exist between a human and an android? And what are the ethical implications of such a relationship?
Right. And then there's this whole thing with Rick buying a goat.
Oh, yeah.
He seems like he's desperately trying to prove his own humanity,
Yeah.
his ability to connect with something real.
And remember, in this world, a real animal is more than just a pet. It's a status symbol,
Oh, it's huge.
a badge of empathy.
Yeah.
So when Rick buys that goat, it's more than just a purchase. It's a statement.
It is.
It's as if he's saying, look, I can feel, I can care, I'm still human.
Exactly.
But it also raises the question, Is it genuine?
Right.
Is it a true act of empathy?
Yeah,
Or is it a desperate attempt to cling to something that's slipping away?
it's both.
Is he trying to convince himself as much as he's trying to convince everyone else?
Right. Dick brilliantly plays with our expectations, forces us to question Rick's motivations.
Yes.
Is the goat a symbol of hope or a sign of his own growing desperation?
Okay, so we've got Rick grappling with his humanity,
Yeah.
facing down these incredibly advanced androids. But then there's John Isidore.
Oh, yeah.
He's a human with intellectual disabilities.
Right. Isidore is fascinating because he represents a different kind of humanity.
Yeah.
He lives a solitary existence, isolated from the rest of society.
Yeah.
Yet he possesses a genuine empathy that seems to surpass even that of some humans.
It's amazing, and he ends up connecting with Stratton, an android on the run.
Yeah.
There's this beautiful irony in his acceptance of these androids, who are themselves struggling with loneliness and a desire for connection.
Isidore becomes a mirror reflecting the android's own search for meaning and belonging.
Yeah.
He sees past their artificiality and recognizes their shared humanity, their desire for connection and understanding.
Which brings us back to that central question. Is empathy solely a human trait?
Right, and can it be truly measured or defined?
The novel doesn't offer easy answers,
No.
but it forces us to confront our own biases.
What are the markers of humanity, and are they as clear-cut as we believe them to be?
And then there's Mercerism,
Right.
this dominant religion centered around empathy and shared experience through the empathy box.
The empathy box.
But even that gets called into question.
Oh, yeah. Buster Friendly, this popular TV personality, exposes Mercerism as a possible hoax.
It's crazy.
This throws the whole idea of empathy into doubt.
Right.
Is it just a shared delusion, a way to manipulate the masses?
It makes you wonder if anything is truly authentic in this world.
It does.
Even reality itself becomes suspect.
And that uncertainty, that questioning of our own perceptions.
That's unsettling.
It is, and that's what makes the novel so unsettling and so powerful.
There's the ending.
Oh, yeah.
Rick finds a real toad,
A toad.
an animal thought to be extinct.
Wow.
A symbol of hope, maybe?
It's ambiguous.
It is.
Is the toad real or a hallucination brought on by Rick's deteriorating mental state?
It's left open to interpretation.
It is.
And it makes you think about the significance of hope and renewal in this bleak world.
And ultimately, it leaves us with that lingering question. What does it mean to be human in a world where technology can replicate even the most sacred aspects of life?
So much to unpack there, but before we get ahead of ourselves,
Yeah.
I think it's worth taking a closer look at some of the individual characters and their journeys.
Okay.
Specifically, the androids.
Interesting.
Their perspectives are often overlooked,
They are?
but they're just as vital to understanding the heart of this story.
I agree.
Yeah, it's almost like they're holding up a mirror to humanity, forcing us to question our own values and motivations.
Absolutely. It's easy to get caught up in Rick's struggles, but the androids' perspectives are essential here.
Absolutely.
They're not just plot devices.
Right.
They're complex beings,
Yeah.
with their own desires, fears, even hopes.
It's almost like they're holding up a mirror to humanity, right?
Exactly.
Forcing us to question our own values and motivations.
Like, take Roy Beatty,
Okay.
the leader of the escaped android group.
Yeah.
He's intelligent, resourceful, even ruthless
Right.
in his pursuit of survival.
Yeah.
But underneath that hardened exterior, you see a glimmer of something else.
Yeah.
A longing for something more than just existence.
He's not just blindly following his programming.
No.
He's actively seeking out a way to extend his lifespan,
Right.
to experience life on his own terms.
It's powerful. It's
Yeah.
a powerful demonstration of the android's capacity for independent thought and action.
And then there's Stratton,
Yeah?
the android John Isidore takes.
Right.
Her story is particularly tragic.
It is.
She's essentially a copy of Rachel Rosen,
Mm.
designed to be a companion, a pleasure model.
Right.
But even within those limitations,
Mm.
she seeks out connection,
She does.
forming a genuine bond with Isidore.
It's true. Think about that.
Yeah. An android created for a specific purpose, defying her programming to seek out something deeper, something more meaningful.
It really challenges our preconceived notions of what it means to be sentient,
It does.
to have free will.
And it forces us to ask,
Yeah.
what is the essential difference between a human desiring connection and an android program to simulate that same desire?
Right.
Can we truly dismiss their emotions as simply artificial when they exhibit such a profound yearning for something more?
It also makes you wonder if the androids are capable of developing their own desires and motivations.
Mm-hmm.
What does that say about their capacity for empathy?
Right. It throws a wrench into the whole idea of the Voight-Kampff test.
It does.
If androids can evolve beyond their programming,
Right.
can they also develop genuine empathy?
Yeah.
And if so, how can we justify treating them as less than human?
Especially when you see characters like Irmgard Beatty,
Yeah.
who seems genuinely devoted to her husband Roy.
Mm-hmm.
Their relationship is complex.
But there's a clear sense of love and loyalty there.
There is.
It challenges the idea that androids are incapable of forming genuine emotional bonds.
Their love story, set against the backdrop of their desperate fight for survival, adds another layer of complexity to the novel's exploration of empathy.
Right.
Can we deny the reality of their feelings simply because they're artificial?
And then there's the whole issue of the android's fear of death.
Yeah.
They cling to life with a ferocity that's both heartbreaking and unsettling.
Think about it. These beings,
Yeah.
who we've been led to believe are just machines, are terrified of dying.
Yeah.
They exhibit a primal instinct for self-preservation that's hard to dismiss as simply artificial.
It makes you question the ethics of retiring them.
It does.
Can we justify killing something that so clearly wants to live?
Right.
That experiences fear and loss, just as we do.
It's a question that haunts Rick throughout the novel.
It does, yeah.
He starts out seeing androids as nothing more than targets. But as he encounters them, as he witnesses their emotions and their struggles,
Yeah.
his perspective begins to shift.
His relationship with Rachel Rosen plays a big part in that transformation, right?
But absolutely, it's a twisted, complex relationship.
It is.
But it forces him to confront his own prejudices
Yeah.
and to question the boundaries between human and artificial.
Rachel is a master manipulator,
She is.
using her sexuality to undermine Rick's confidence
Yeah.
and to blur the lines between desire and deception.
Right.
She represents the ultimate challenge to Rick's worldview,
She does.
forcing him to confront the possibility that he might be capable of feeling empathy for an android,
Mm-hmm.
even falling in love with one.
And that experience leaves him deeply shaken, unable to continue his work as a bounty hunter.
He can't do it.
He's forced to retire not just the androids he's hunting,
Yeah.
but himself as well.
It's a powerful commentary on a psychological toll of dehumanizing others.
It is.
When you see your enemy as less than human, it becomes easier to justify violence against them.
Right.
But when you start to recognize their humanity,
Yeah.
to see their emotions,
Mm.
their fears, their hopes,
Yeah.
the act of killing becomes much more difficult.
It does.
It makes you think about how we treat those who are different from us,
It does.
whether it's based on race, religion, or even something like artificial intelligence.
Right.
The novel challenges us to confront our own biases
Yeah.
and to consider the possibility that empathy can exist even in the most unlikely of places.
Exactly. And that brings us back to the question of what truly defines humanity.
Right.
Is it our biology, our intellect, or our capacity for empathy and compassion?
And how does technology impact that definition?
Right.
As AI becomes more sophisticated, as the lines between human and machine continue to blur,
Yeah.
how will our understanding of ourselves and our place in the world evolve?
Dick doesn't give us easy answers.
It doesn't.
But he forces us to confront these uncomfortable questions head on.
Yeah.
He challenges us to think critically about the implications of technology and the future of humanity.
And speaking of technology,
Yeah.
there's another element in the novel that I think deserves a closer look.
Okay.
The Penfield mood organ.
Ah, yes, the mood organ, a device that allows people to dial up specific emotions.
It's both fascinating and a bit disturbing. Right?
It is.
It's like a shortcut to feeling.
It is.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of genuinely experiencing joy or sadness,
Yeah.
you just select it from a menu.
Right.
It raises questions about the authenticity of our emotions in a world where technology can manipulate our feelings.
Exactly. It makes you wonder,
Yeah.
are people truly experiencing those emotions, or are they just simulating them?
Right.
It ties back to the idea of authenticity versus artificiality that pervades the entire novel.
Rick's wife, Iran,
Yeah.
uses the mood organ to cope with her depression.
Mm.
But it seems like it's more of a temporary fix,
Yeah.
not a genuine solution.
Yeah, and then you have characters like Rick who resist using it because they want to feel their emotions authentically,
Yeah.
even if those emotions are painful.
It's like there's a fear of becoming numb, of losing the ability to feel anything real in this world that's already so detached from nature.
So does the mood organ represent a form of technological escapism?
Yeah.
Or could it be a tool for enhancing our emotional lives?
That's a great question to ponder.
It is.
And it makes you think about the ways we use technology in our own lives.
It does.
Are we using it to connect with the world, or are we using it to escape from it?
It's a choice we all have to make.
And speaking of choices,
Yeah.
I think it's time we revisited the ending of the novel.
Oh.
That final scene with the toad is so powerful,
Yeah.
so full of symbolism. What do you make of it? It always gets me. That ending,
Yeah.
Rick, after everything he's been through,
Right.
all the moral wrestling and existential dread,
Yeah.
finds a toad,
Uh-huh.
a real toad, thought to be extinct.
It's like a gut punch.
It is. You said it's ambiguous.
Yeah.
Is it real? Or is it like Rick's mind playing tricks on him?
I mean, it could be.
He's just been exposed to the possibility that Mercerism, the belief system he's clung to,
Right.
might be a fabrication.
Exactly. And remember, the toad is directly tied to Mercerism.
Right.
It's the symbol of renewal, of resurrection.
Yeah.
So when Rick finds it, is it a sign of his own spiritual rebirth?
It's a big question.
Is it a confirmation that there's still hope,
Yeah.
even in the face of despair?
Or is it like a sign of his further descent into delusion?
Yeah.
Is he clinging to a manufactured hope because the reality is just too much to bear?
Right. Dick masterfully leaves that question hanging.
He does. It's like he's saying, here's the evidence, or at least what appears to be evidence. Now you decide what you believe.
Exactly.
And that's the genius of it, right?
It is.
It forces you, the
Yeah.
reader, to grapple with the same questions that are tormenting Rick.
You become Rick,
Yeah.
in a way.
What do you believe?
Yeah.
Where do you find hope in a world that seems to be crumbling around you?
It makes you question the nature of faith, of belief.
It does.
Do we cling to certain beliefs because they comfort us,
Yeah.
even if we suspect they might be false?
Right.
And what happens when those beliefs are shattered?
And there's another layer to that ending, too.
Okay.
Remember that electric animals are commonplace in this world.
Right.
They're nearly indistinguishable from real animals.
Yeah.
But they're artificial.
Yeah.
So when Rick finds this toad, it raises the question,
Yeah.
what's the difference between something that's real and something that's been so perfectly replicated that it's practically identical?
You can't tell the
And
difference.
it goes back to that central theme of the novel, the
Yeah.
blurring of lines between the human and the artificial.
If you can't tell the difference, does it even matter?
And what does that say about us?
Right.
Are we becoming so reliant on technology, on simulations, that we're losing touch with what's real? Are we in danger of becoming like the androids ourselves, programmed by our desires, unable to distinguish between genuine emotions and manufactured experiences?
These are the big questions Dick throws at us. And he doesn't offer easy answers.
He does.
He leaves us with the responsibility of wrestling with them, of finding our own meaning in a world where the very nature of reality is in question.
Do androids dream of electric sheep? Isn't just a sci-fi novel.
It's not.
It's a mirror reflecting our own anxieties about technology,
Yes.
about our humanity, about the search for connection and meaning in a world that often feels cold and artificial.
And that's why it continues to resonate with readers today, decades after it was written.
Absolutely.
Dick tapped into something fundamental about the human condition.
He did.
Something that transcends time and technology.
I feel like we could talk about this book for hours.
Oh, for sure.
But unfortunately, we are out of time.
It's been a fascinating deep dive.
It has.
And I hope it sparks some thought-provoking questions for you.
If this deep dive has left you wanting more,
Yeah.
I encourage you to check out the full novel.
Please do.
There's so much more to explore.
There is.
So many layers of meaning to unpack.
And remember, the most important questions are often the ones that don't have easy answers.
That's the truth.
Keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep searching for your own truth in a world that's constantly challenging our perceptions of reality.
Thank you for joining us on this journey
Yeah, thank you.
into Philip K. Dick's mind-bending world.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time,
Yes.
keep diving deep.